Beneath the golden light of the West African sun, where the salty breeze of the Gulf of Guinea dances across the shores of Accra, the heartbeat of a people rises in the deep, steady rhythm of distant drums. They are the Ga, proud guardians of a heritage carved by the tides, the winds, and the voices of their ancestors. And once every year, their land blooms with life in a celebration that is more than just a festival. It is memory, it is gratitude, it is unity painted in the colors of tradition. This is the time when streets turn into rivers of music, when the scent of roasted yams mingles with the ocean air, when laughter mingles with prayer, and history walks hand in hand with the present. It is here we will journey, into the heart of the Ga traditional areas, to uncover the origins of their festivals, the sacred meanings behind every gesture and song, the weeks of preparation filled with care and anticipation, the rules whispered from generation to generation, and the sacred acts that honor both the living and the departed. We will feel the thump of the drums calling the people together, watch the graceful dances that speak without words, taste the foods that carry the stories of survival and abundance, and hear the wisdom of elders whose voices keep the fire of culture alive. And as we walk with them from the first quiet preparations to the final day of feasting, prayer, and joy, you may find that this celebration does more than honor the past. It invites you to become part of its living heartbeat, carrying its warmth and wonder far beyond the shores where it began.
When the sun first touches the coastline of the Ga land, the waves roll in with a gentle authority, each one breaking softly on the sand as if carrying messages from the ancestors, whispers of generations who stood here before, calling the people together for a celebration as old as memory itself, a celebration born from hunger overcome, from battles remembered, from an unbreakable thread of unity that binds the past to the present. Here in the heart of the Ga world, the festivals are not simply events. They are the lifeblood of the people, the sacred rhythm that marks the seasons and measures the soul. And among these celebrations, the Homowo festival rises first, its name meaning to hoot at hunger, a defiant laugh in the face of hardship. And in its story lies the memory of a famine long past, a time when the rains did not come, when the fields lay cracked and empty, when the land gave little and hunger walked openly among the people. Yet the Ga endured, planting seeds into dry earth with faith as their water, lifting prayers into a sky that seemed deaf, holding on when each day was a test of will. And then, when hope was wearing thin, the rains returned, soft at first and then steady, soaking the soil, waking the seeds, filling the air with the scent of green life. Harvest came in abundance, baskets spilling with maize, yams, and vegetables, and with it came a vow, a promise that hunger would never steal their joy again. They would remember, they would honor, they would laugh in its face. And so Homowo was born, not just as a festival, but as a living memory, a promise carried forward from generation to generation. It begins long before the first drumbeat, in the quiet weeks when the air is thick with preparation, women grinding maize on smooth stones, their hands moving with the steady patience learned from their mothers and grandmothers, men carving new drums from the trunks of trees, hollowing the wood, stretching skins, testing the sound with soft, tentative taps, seamstresses bent over cloth in brilliant colors, sewing bright kent and smocks that will blaze under the August sun, fishermen mending, and painting their boats in colors of pride, reds and blues and yellows that seem to dance against the sea, children rehearsing dances in courtyards, their small feet stamping in time as elders correct their steps, teaching them not only the movement but the meaning. For here every dance tells a story and every gesture carries the weight of history. The preparations are woven with unspoken rules, customs as old as the stories themselves. For there are things that must not be done before the sacred days. No loud drumming before Homowo, for there is a time when the drums must rest, so that prayers can be heard clearly. There must be respect for the elders, for they carry the knowledge of the right words, the right gestures, the right offerings, and these are not mere formalities, but the invisible threads that hold the festival together. In these quiet weeks, there are also rites and feasts that move from house to house, each one with its own name and rhythm. The Blafo Yam Feast, the Dede Ban, the Kotope, the Dede Atu Adzon Jaflo O2, gatherings where laughter and food pass freely, binding the community tighter with each visit. There is the Ningo Balumo, the purification of the sea, a moment when the ocean itself is honored, thanked, and cleansed, for the sea is both provider and protector for the Ga people. There's the Lante John Wekagbamo, and there are days to honor twins and multiple births, for in Ga culture twins are a blessing multiplied, a sign of abundance and joy, and so they are celebrated with music, dancing, and special prayers. When the sacred silence ends and the drums return, their sound rolls through the streets like a heartbeat awakening the city, and on the day itself the Ga land transforms. The streets become living rivers of color. Elders lead processions with dignity, their steps slow but strong. Youth dance with the fire of the future in their eyes. Strangers are welcomed as if they have always belonged. Food passes from hand to hand. Stories pass from mouth to ear, and the air itself feels thick with belonging. Popoi, the sacred cornmeal dish, is prepared with care, mixed with palm nut soup, sprinkled first to the ancestors in gratitude, then shared with family, neighbors, and visitors alike. Muskets are fired into the air in bursts that echo off the walls. Dancers move in bright cloth, the heat of the day rising from the earth in waves. Fishermen join the celebrations, their boats gleaming from fresh paint, and children run laughing between the legs of the crowd, carrying pieces of bread, fruit, or maize. The celebration is not only a thanksgiving for harvest, it is a mirror that shows the Ga people who they are, a thread that ties the living to the ancestors, a teacher that reminds the young of their roots, a host that welcomes outsiders into the warmth of community. It is also a time for remembrance, for Kaimo, the day to honor those who have passed in the last year, when names are spoken aloud, so they are not forgotten, when tears and laughter share the same space. It is a time for the Sobi, the Thursday people, those who come from outlying villages bringing their harvests and their presents, swelling the crowds and filling the streets with more voices, more stories, more life. In every corner of Ga land, the festival takes on its own shade and shape, from Nungua to Tema, from Ga Mashie to Kpone, Osu, La, Teshie, Prampram, and Ningo, each with its own date, its own twist, yet all carrying the same spirit, the same heartbeat, the same unbroken vow made in the days of famine, and even now in the modern city, with cars rushing by and tall buildings casting their shadows. Homowo still blooms in full color, attracting visitors from far away, filling markets with traders, stirring the air with the smell of roasted fish, fried plantains, palm nut soup, and popoi, blending the ancient with the present so seamlessly that for those days the past does not feel far away.
And when the last drumbeat fades into the evening, when the smoke from the cooking fires drifts into the darkening sky, when the elders lean back in their chairs with the satisfaction of another festival completed, the spirit of Homowo remains, carried in the hearts of the people until the cycle begins again. For in Ga land the festivals are not just days on a calendar, they are living bridges between the past and the present, between the seen and the unseen, between the people and their destiny. They are the laughter after hunger, the song after silence, the dance after stillness, the living proof that even in the face of hardship, the Ga will always rise, always gather, always remember.